It is unfortunate to see Syned and Hanzo go out like that. I think they were a very strong team. I did try and tune into Syned's stream once, despite me not speaking a single word of Russian, but they were practicing together on call from what I can tell. And a lot of the teams were putting in the time for this. But unfortunately, only two per day can move on to Sunday. And for the Russian fans out there, at least Silvername and Goddammit will be continuing on. So we get to the very last lobby now, and Sir Salty once again has Rafam.
Yeah, he's getting a 2-for-1 special. A lot. Rafam this round, Rafam last round. He really likes the hero, it seems.
A lot of people do like it for its consistency to be able to get a wide board early on. For Izium, though, these are not the greatest choices. Would you end up on the Curator, maybe?
Either Curator or Malygos. You could go for the Maleficent if you really just want to. But the issue with Maleficent is not really a winning composition. It is a safe composition, and they have been playing safe this whole tournament. So maybe that is just their game plan. Just going to take this and try to force a mech composition. But difficult.
Mechs definitely feel like they're maybe a more consistent way to get around 4th place, but my issue is that enough for Team Orange right now? They have a 6-point deficit to overcome, I believe, to get ahead of the black team. So they need to put together a good performance on top of the black team falling off a little bit. And we do see, of course, from Oliesh, Syndragosa, which means that he's guaranteed at least a good early game board.
Yeah, I don't know. The mech strategy might be good. You're kind of hoping that, maybe RDU and Habu Gabu take the 3rd and 4th space, right? And then you can get 1st and 2nd or something like that.
So what do you think about this turn from typical Hanzo? He bought the token, sold one, and immediately bananaed for a 4th floor.
I mean, it works, right?
I mean, you win this fight, but does it have any implications for economy later on?
You're good at this.
The only thing you're doing is you're giving everyone else a banana, right? But it is technically the same strength, and you can level normally.
The issue with giving up a token is usually seen in the 5 gold turn, but the fact that you do have bananas to give yourself a minion that's even bigger than a tier 2 minion means that it's okay if you don't buy the maximum amount of tier 2 minions later on.
Yeah, he's going for a safe play, just scaling with the hero power every single turn. We talked about this last match as well.
Pretty fun to see this. He is just going in, and that is going to be a Reno bullied heavily. RDU, though, is not really somebody that we need to worry so much about because he is locked in alongside Habu Gabu for Sunday.
Yeah, he doesn't have to worry. Even he probably took Reno for the memes. Probably trying to force a Khadgar. We'll probably take a look at it. He found the triple, by the way, Hanzo.
Wow. So, how is he going to play out this curve? I guess it's just more bananas. When are you looking to go for the triple? What tier minion?
I guess he'll do it next turn to get a 3. That's what the curve looks like. He could have leveled this turn, but decided not to. He could still level 2 if he sells that, but not to.
Yeah, given that he seems to hero power every turn and is just treating this like a Maiev or Rafam curve, it definitely does feel like he would level Sai and hero power next turn. But from Oliesh, you're seeing him cash in the minions that he froze early on as Syndragosa, and it's going to be dragons on the other side from Syned.
You can really see what's the minions that get buffed by Syndragosa actually become pretty relevant in the early game, so it's nice.
Yeah, pretty much automatically freeze whatever Bob gives you in the first tavern as Syndragosa for at least 2 turns in a row, and we do see that he froze Microbot and Refreshing Anomaly as well. Is there room to maybe buy the other 2 and keep those frozen for another turn?
I think against Millhouse usually spikes on this turn, so you probably want to be as strong as possible. So it does make sense to buy them now.
Yeah. There's also the argument that next turn you're probably only going to buy 1 minion because it's level buy. So he could go for something like this half and half play where you buy 1 strong one and you buy one that you're not necessarily looking to get buffs on in the long term.
Yeah, he's going for a greedy play, but also a safe play at the same time because he knows that the Micro Machine will be getting attack buff, so it's not going to be wasted if you buy it this turn.
Oh man, that Red Whelp proc was potentially very relevant because of the size of these Divine Shields on the other side. Doesn't really hit anything too big, but the body itself manages to get a good trade up.
Yeah, it's really nice to see those minions getting buffed actually becoming relevant and dealing damage.
Still ends up as a small win for Habugabu, but I think Oliash is fine with that. Sir Salty, Elemental triples.
Yeah, it's interesting because he's already on tier 3 at the beginning of the turn, meaning that he just leveled last turn. So he's determining if he wants to go for the tier 4 minion and maybe go for Gold Grouper scaling, or just wait and be even greedier.
Oh, that's very interesting that he triples on the Elemental instead of the Water Droplet, which is in some ways money lost, but it's a bigger body that you get immediately.
The nice thing you can do here is if you sell these Elemental and buy another one, you can get another triple quickly.
That is true. Going for the potential double triples later on, and knowing that he is facing somebody who's not his teammate next turn, he's going to start cashing in the bananas.
Yeah, he's typical Hanzo's been giving people a lot of bananas. Really generous this game.
Every single turn, it feels like.
Yeah. We're gonna be taking a look at what the Reform's doing. It looks like he's gonna win this round, or at least tie, depending on how the match runs out, and deals a lot of damage.
It was a really big deal that he did cash out every last banana on his taunt minion, because if it had a couple less health points, then the big selfless hero on the other side could have taken a massive trade, and the rest of Sir Salty's board would have been just marching into that selfless.
Yeah, he's got a lot of decisions here. Does he want to spawn? Looks like he's going for the 5-drop here, and doesn't really hit anything good. He probably takes the Sneeds here just so that he has a good board, but not the hits he was looking for. Probably looking for Mama Bear.
That's right, Mama Bear, maybe even a brand for later on, but all of these, other than the Sneed's Old Shredder, need other pieces to really have good synergy at the moment. So I do favor the tempo pick as well as the Sneed. Ooh.
Okay. So he sees the spawn in the lobby, and that's why he's taking the Baron here.
Okay, I can get behind it. It's a bit scary on the other side, Sir Salty, but granted, this is still just the 8 gold turn, and he has a 10-10, and the Hyena does get pretty big, so I think it's justified still.
Yeah, it is definitely scary depending on how strong Sir Salty is. Sir Salty isn't super nutty, so it should work out for him.
Okay, not going to be the biggest loss for Uncle Hanzo, and I am a bit curious what's going on with Oliesh, because last time we saw him, he did have some pretty good freeze options.
Looks like, well, we'll see what he has after the end of the battle. He did lose to the KT, so I'm seeing what he's running right now.
And the issue I find with Sindragosa is to decide when to stop freezing things, because it can get a little bit tempting to stack the buffs for a little bit longer, but around, I think, this mark, 9 gold, 10 gold, the buffs that you get are maybe offset by the value of actually refreshing your board into higher tier minions.
Yeah, usually I like hero powering, or say using your passive for like the first 5 turns or so. Then after you start leveling at 3, level 4, you can roll into really good standalone minions like Bronze Wardens and things like that.
And the Bronze Ward and Cobalt Scalebane combo is in hand right now. It feels very greedy to hold on to these because he is facing Sir Salty, but at the same time, you don't really want to spend the last 2 gold rolling. But I think overall, he needs to be going for the safe place because, as we mentioned, the black team is in a slight lead over orange team right now. So as long as they can maintain middle ground placement, they should be in a good spot for second place.
Yeah, he ended up having to use 2 gold to just roll it away because he didn't like anything in the shop. So a little bit unfortunate with the gold management, but sometimes you don't get lucky or optimal.
Oh, that's a big target for the red whelp to hit. It means that the Cobalt Scalebane just one-shots the con straight away, and the Bronze Warden can maybe get more work done. But oh, that Elemental trade also is huge.
Yeah, there's a bit of unfortunate hits for both members here. Hopefully they don't take too much damage from either of the opponents.
Getting really tense because it's this team versus that team for the second slot here. Oliesh knows that every single combat against Izium and Sir Salty will be crucial. Same for Alexis Diesel here, who has a Chef Nomi already on board.
Yeah, now he's got a game plan, just buying the Nomi or buying the elementals and hoping he can skill from there.
Is there room for Major Domo? I really want it, but it might be a bait.
I think that would be difficult to buy that here and hope it works out. I mean, he could do it. He's definitely considering it, knowing that he hasn't rolled overway yet, and it is better than the dragon that he has on the board.
I like where you're going with this.
I love it. From here, though, it's tough to choose which minion will actually be his cycles spot because he does have that golden party elemental, and on top of that, 2 divine shield minions. The fact that he is placing the buff on the Deflectobot on the far left here is a bit surprising to me because I thought the Deflectobot would be the minion to go away and the Selfless Hero just all in.
Well, Deflectobot does have potential scaling, so I can see why he wants to keep that. Maybe he finds other mech synergies and keeps both of them, so I can see why he decides to keep that instead.
And he does end up throwing the party elemental instead. I'm always baited by that card, so I guess I should learn the lesson from these pro players throwing it away.
The reason why he's throwing away the party elemental is because he has a Nomi. I think he would keep it if he had a Rag, but since Nomi buffs the things in your board, you actually don't have to buff the minions in the tab. You have to buff the minions on your board, so he threw it away.
The only good targets are the Wildfire Elementals, but you can see his Arcane Assistant is the card he'll be cycling out. But will he even survive long enough? This fight is not going so well for Alexis Diesel.
He should survive with a little bit of health, knowing that the mech player isn't on 5, right? Probably on 4, so just take him.
Such a big deal for Izium. It's been a while since we've checked in on him. Last time we saw him was just actually picking the Maleficent, but he did hit quite a bit of mech synergy. RDU on the Reno still hasn't cashed out the hero power, but has a decent amount of health to work with.
It looks like RDU for his last game is going Pirates and hoping he can make the plays, playing for his fans, you know, doing some of the things you don't normally see, but I think he deserves it.
It's definitely, it feels like something for the viewers, right? Because I feel it's only justified to go for the Hogger economy when you have the salty looters to actually benefit from buying all of the pirates. But he could just print money now if he wants.
Yeah, found another one.
And that means that every pirate he buys is essentially plus gold for him.
Yeah. He just needs to survive the next couple of turns. The one issue with his composition right now is he doesn't have any units that scale by buying the pirates. So he essentially just needs to get triples and get Eliza that way.
Definitely seems like it. He is faced off against Izium though. Again, he was on that mech comp with the double Deflectobots. I wonder if the pirates will get the job done here. Giant micro machine.
We know the answer. Yeah, let's. Unfortunately.
A girl can dream, Collins. I want to see pirates.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't die here, he still has a chance to skill and be irrelevant. So we'll see what happens.
I just want RDU to survive so he can maybe find the time to pick up a golden, a salty looter and just find a way to actually cash out on these pirates. And he will have enough HP to last another turn, but let's watch him pop off after this.
Another turn is the key statement here. Unfortunately, we'll see what happens though. He's not going to be last, so that's nice to see.
Not facing the ghost though. In fact, he is facing top player who is Abu Gabu, his teammate. Abu Gabu could help RDU live the pirate dream for another turn if he wanted.
Yeah, we should also mention that it seems like Sir Salty was a person in 8th. He was one of those pushing for the second place spot, so that's a big disappointment for him right there, not being able to make it work in the last match.
Yeah, that is such a huge deal. Izium now, I feel like it's very unlikely for Orange Team to be able to make second from this spot, even if Izium makes first, but we'll see. For now, let's enjoy the fireworks from RDU. Still just one salty looter.
It's nice to see. He's getting everything triple. Is it enough? No, but
I mean,
nice to
this
see.
is a pretty strong board. I don't know what Habu Gabu's board looks like, but this is impressive, at least for the APM at the very least.
Yeah, the APM is impressive. I will admit that is very true.
Now, Sottle mentioned a while ago that RDU ends many a turn with some gold floated, and he pays Bob in that regard. So how much is he paying Bob this turn?
He can pay Bob as much as he likes because he's getting free gold in the first place. So seems to work out here.
Nice generous tip of 3 gold to Bob in the end, I believe.
Yeah. Even if he bought the pirate on that shop, he would have given Bob even more gold.
Okay, that looks like the end of the pirate dream. Short-lived, but I'm glad we saw the firework.
Knowing that it's your teammate, why put the cleave in the front? That seems like a bit of sabotage from Habu Gabu here. A little disappointed to see.
Wait,
oh, he's alive.
He's alive! I didn't expect that.
Alright, so there's still more hope for RDU here. He can still live the pirate dream an extra turn. And that's it.
And as fun as this is to watch, I guess we should mention it's a much bigger deal as to whether Oliesh and Alexis Diesel can secure their lead. They're definitely feeling very confident now that Sir Salty has fallen in 8th place. Typical Hanzo falling to 7th, probably not too surprising given that, or sorry, not too impactful given that their team was already in the last place spot.
Alright. Looks like he's still rolling, still looking for... He's gotten 2 hoggers now, so he's got a lot of scaling as well.
Another gold rubber.
That's what I would have picked.
What's the chances that he ends with 10 gold? I think it's pretty high.
I think it's high too. It's just... At this point, it might even just be actively bad to buy other minions to spend your gold because you have more cards to get out of your hand the next turn.
Yeah,
There's
he
just
could
not
get
enough
the
time.
taunt. He could taunt, but decided not to do that as well.
Down a minion and up a goal.
I wish we could have some background music to listen to from all of this.
Yeah, he's APMing though pretty well.
It's very
Will
impressive.
it be enough?
He's tipping Bob about 100 gold here. It looks like.
Oh man,
Down a minion and
he's still going. Time's run out, but he's like, I still got more plays to make.
Good old V-Sync. A while ago we saw it with the transition with the golden Khadgar. And now we get to see it for the Pirates. RDU finally selling off the Hogger and ends with double poison, which is the real kicker here because Oliesh doesn't actually have that much stat.
It's actually working out for RDU here, making the dream reality. I thought he wouldn't win this round, but he actually found a way to sell the Pirates for poison and use that to win.
That's incredibly impressive. I did not think that the Pirates would take him this far. I suppose he found the salty looters at just the right moment. He has just the right amount of stats to knock out Oliesh, which is good news for Izium. If there is going to be any hope left for that pairing of Izium and Sir Salty, it would depend on Oliesh and Alexis Diesel falling out.
I think Alexis Diesel also got knocked out there.
Ooh.
So wow, Izium really has the opportunity to take a lot of points in this round now.
That means that Oliesh and Alexis Diesel have garnered 2 and 3 points. So a total of 5, which, not counting Izium's points gathered, puts them at a 10-point lead ahead. So I think even if Izium takes first place in this lobby, it still feels like the black team will come out second. But of course, my math is not always perfect, so we'll see how it actually pans out when all is said and done. There's the Eliza.
It does seem like your math is pretty perfect in the end game that they won't be able to make it out. So unfortunate for them, but their performance over the other lobbies was able to make them consistent enough that they didn't need to, dominate in this last round. So very nice to see.
And if all of that checks out, that does mean we do just get to keep enjoying RDU on the APM Pirates, just by every single pirate in sight.
I do think it is still impressive that they are both top 4 again, even with the memes. Even with the memes, they're able to pull it out. Very impressive play from both of them.
For sure. And Zottle was saying when it was you guys casting that RDU prior to this tournament was streaming, and he did just win a game on Pirates, so it's not entirely memey. He has done it before. It definitely feels a lot harder to pull off than before, but when you do get it, boy, does it feel good.
Momentum, friend.
I'm liking that he bought the 2 random minions just to bank 2 gold, because you need that with Pirates. Yeah.
Sometimes, if Bob doesn't give you any Pirates for the first, like, 8 rolls somehow. But Poisonous Divine Shield on the other side looks like it's gonna be too much.
Little unfortunate for our pirate superhero here. It might not be enough. Well.
Oh, and Izium does go out in 3rd place here. That's a very impressive performance with Maleficent.
Yeah, and Abu, it looks like RDU as well. The Pirates were not enough, but they were enough for top 4, so very, very impressive.
That was almost a tie there, depending on where that last trade went, if it had gone into the Lil Rag, but we do get to see Sined continuing the dream here. Possibility for a triple Gar. That is the Habu Gabu special that we saw from a while ago, now possibly going to be his doom.
Alright, he is picking up the Baron to replace so that he does have the Selfless getting an extra tick.
Yeah, that's really cool. And he does have a Selfless in the shop right now. Do you feel like that is a hero power target or a freeze? Because there might not be that many rounds left.
Yeah, there's only 1 round left after. If the round isn't over this round, there's only 1 round left, so you have to freeze that.
As for positioning, I do think this looks fairly standard just with Baron far right. It looks like he is going for Nadina instead of Baron to get the reset on a Poisonous minion.
What he actually could have done was sell the... He did sell the Ragnaros. He could have sold the Ragnaros and the Nadina and just had double Selfless on the board instead.
True. I mean, Nadina only can proc on the Amalgam, so he does have to kind of be fortunate that it doesn't die too early before this goes off. The Selfless, however, you can't really direct it where to go. Sometimes it can land on disaster minions, like the Baron there.
Yeah, but you do get 2 procs instead of the 1, and it's not even guaranteed for the Nadina, so I do think it would be a good play.
I agree. You can see here the Nadina is just going to do absolutely nothing on this board state, and in a couple moments time, this little deadly spore will be taking down... Oh no, never mind! Taking down the Golden Gar, I was about to say, but an amazing snipe.
Yeah, keeping him alive as well. What a massive snipe from the wow.
Not alive, look. Just he's won the game and put on the meme shades.
Very impressive from Sined there. Easy win.
You love to see it, and even though I don't believe that Sined and typical Hanzo's team has a chance of finishing in the top 2, it's really great to see them put in a first place performance to close out the day, taking down Habu Gabu, no less, who was probably the top performing individual player this tournament.
Yeah, it was really nice to see. There were a lot of good plays from a lot of the teams that we saw finishing and moving on to the next round. So a little bit unfortunate. I think so Salty and Izum had really good consistency, but the consistency wasn't good enough to actually get some first places, which ended up being the difference maker in a lot of these matches.
And the point totals are in. Not quite as close as yesterday, where we do have 2 teams that are outliers on the upper and lower extremes, respectively. But it's honestly the story of the black and the orange team fighting back and forth with these last few lobbies. In the end, as you said, it was not quite enough for Izium and Sir Salty, as sad as I am to say it. But congrats, definitely, to the black team. Managing to gather 3 first places in totals is still very impressive.